Every day for the last 7 years, I've walked our dogs along the subdivision sidewalks and streets. Every day I saw cracks in the sidewalks and deterioration of the streets. This led me to ask questions and do some research. Before World War II, local governments extended infrastructure into undeveloped areas. They built the roads, the sidewalks, the sewers, stormwater systems, and generally prepared the districts for private development. The infrastructure was built to higher standards because those governments footing the bill wanted the new infrastructure to last. The infrastructure was built for use, not for sale. Since World War II, the job of infrastructure development for new subdivisions has generally been handed over to private developers. In many cases, the infrastructure is built to last long enough to get the new homes sold and to transfer ownership of the new infrastructure to the unincorporated county, a village, or a city. My subdivision was built in 1993. In less than 10 years, infrastructure problems began. In some places, the streets and sidewalks began to crack. Now they're cracking in half. During the last 5 years, the city has sent crews into the subdivision to tear out and replace certain sections of roadway and sidewalk. Other sections of roadway have been filled in or tarred over. Several years ago, there was a sidewalk repair program. Whole sections were torn out and replaced. Had the developer been held to higher standards by St. Louis County government, my subdivision was located in the unincorporated county when it was built, city taxpayers would not have to start funding extensive repairs to this subdivision after its first decade of service. And there's more. Recently, both Ameren and AT&T have been digging up buried cables in my neighborhood to make repairs. Upon inquiry, I discovered that the subdivision's developers did not put those cables into conduit. This infrastructure was laid and covered with dirt where water and rocks have now damaged the cables, forcing costly repairs. This is just the beginning. I was told by the repair crew that as more of these wires and cables fail, more yards will see deep holes dug and lawns damaged. At the 15-year mark, many of the homes in the subdivision needed new roofs. When the old roofs was removed from the homes, it was discovered that the builders did not put tar paper, felt paper, between the wood and the roofing tiles. That material creates a vapor barrier which keeps the oils in the shingles from leaching out into the wood. The tar creates a water-resistant barrier which is supposed to protect the wood. The replacement roofs, paid for by current homeowners, now have that vapor and water barrier. One might ask, where were the inspectors who were supposed to be monitoring the developers as they built the roads, the sidewalks, the roofs, and laid in the electric and phone lines? Governments that build infrastructure have an incentive to build to higher standards so they do not have to repeat the process a decade later. Developers do not have that incentive, and just the opposite. Every dollar spent building infrastructure to a higher standard is a dollar less in their bank account. Spending 10 to 15% more on construction projects in 1993 would have increased the lifespan of the infrastructure significantly. It would have decreased the cost of doing business for today's taxpayers. Taxpayers who are forced to spend their money to repair or replace infrastructure now instead of 20 to 30 years from now. I strongly urge St. Louis County, cities, and villages to raise infrastructure construction standards, promote in-depth inspections during construction, and have developers create insurance funds for the purpose of paying the cost of repairs to infrastructure which does not meet the desired longevity standards. I'm Lee Presser.